Gave that offensive line one more chance to punch it in, and this time they were successful.
They certainly paid off the coach's confidence, didn't they? And how about the fact that they stayed with the ground game? Because a lot of times in that situation, partner, we see teams try and roll the quarterback out, give him a little run-pass option, and treat it like a two-point conversion play. In this case, they went with a little bit more power and got it done.
Now this will be returned from deep in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown! DK Metcalf, 84 yards. And his guys have taken the lead. The extra point now coming from Myers. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. On the return from his end zone is Grant. And they're going to start in a hole as he's brought down at the 11.
For most people, the excitement of the kickoff return is to see a long one that goes back in the opposite direction. But for the guys covering it, it's being able to stop them deep in their own territory. How about that incredible form tackle right there? Shoulder into ball carrier, and down he goes.
Buying time to his left. And out of bounds across the 15-yard line. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be second down. Now it's Watson. Escaping the pressure right. And they'll get him down here at the 23. Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the first.
As he came to the line of scrimmage, he knew he didn't need much to reset the chain, so when he saw the space he needed, no hesitation. He went to the marker and got his guys a first down.
Watson on first down. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's Watson. Right back to Njoku. And he's got room. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. A shotgun snap for Watson. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Yeah, their back's up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Watson now to throw. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. Picked off by Devin Witherspoon. Well, we saw plenty of that during his much-heralded college career. He parlayed that into becoming a first-round selection. And now here he is making interceptions in the National Football League.
And this is a guy that has all the physical tools, but the thing that sets him apart is what he's got between his ears. And that's the sixth sense for knowing where the football is going. Just an excellent play there to create the turnover.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Had an open man that time and ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Now Geno. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after their last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on 3rd down to get their momentum going again.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Smith now to throw. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And the Browns are going to take over at their own 41.
And I think this is a situation where a quarterback coach in the sideline is going to talk to a signal caller and say, listen, it's 3rd and long, and it's still early in the game. Let's not force things here. If we don't feel good about it, let's just check something down and pump the football.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And with decent starting field position, there may be only a couple completions away from field goal range. Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play. And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the 2nd quarter. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Here's Watson. He's going to air one out. And now Watson throws another interception. Tariq Woolen picks it.
They'll take over 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. A 1-touchdown ball game, 14-7 our scores. We get back at it on EA Sports. And he won't quite make it to the 25.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. But Charles, for them, pretty good first half on the ground. They had some success running the ball in quarters 1 and 2, and they've got the lead. Now a chance to expand upon that lead here with their first drive in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, believe it or not, you and I have noticed that this great game of football has shifted towards pass first, run second. So for me, it's really nice to see some of these teams keeping the ground game as a big component of their offense, and it's working pretty well for them now. And let's face it, they can continue to do damage with it. And in addition, it sets up the pass game really well for them, too.
He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. They'll come up now 3rd and 3. Throwing is Smith. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Just his 2nd catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 49-yard line. Down to about the 45.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Sticking with Walker on second down.
And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
You don't see that a ton, do you? With a cornerback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball's moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And it's caught. Touchdown. DK Metcalf. His 2nd touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season. And the Desperados have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Myers connects on the PAT. And it's now 21-7. The touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. On the return from his end zone is Grant. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Browns drive about to get started. They make their second half debut here, and things are looking a little bit tougher now. You give up the points there, Charles, that touchdown drive on the other side, so now it's a 2-score game here. Got to be careful.
They certainly do, and I'm just wondering at halftime if those guys just looked into each other's eyes and realize what they've got to get done and come out a little bit more charged up, because if they don't get some kind of points here, that next drive, that can make this a 3-possession game.
Second down, here's Chubb again. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Not the start to the drive they were hoping for. That run doesn't get them much at all.
No, not at all. And that leaves them with 3rd long, which means you got to dial up something pretty good. Think your best player with a play that he likes to run best.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss.
The Browns send out their punter now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt.
And they will take over 1st and 10. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. 103 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
They'll try for the first with Walker.
And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
Someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. And going right back to Walker. And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield.
All told, they get 13 yards on that play.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front seven, reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
Trying the left side with Walker.
And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. That time they're able to bottle him up, but he's having a really nice game.
I agree with that. Let's just go big picture, right? Every back that's in the Hall of Fame had carries where they didn't gain yardage or they lost yardage, but you stick with them, don't you? When they're having a good game, keep feeding them.
2nd and 10. From the gun, it's Walker. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
He was tackled at the 46-yard line. It's a gain of 4. Brings up 3rd and 6.
3 quarters in the books.
He ends at the 3rd quarter.
Seventh play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6.
On 3rd down, here's Walker.
And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
I think there's a fatigue factor that's kicking in defensively. You know the will is still strong, but I think the offense is starting to bend it just a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's looked that way. We'll see if they can continue this already strong drive. Boy, nowhere to go at all on that 1st down run as they will get to him behind the line of scrimmage. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they got it going today.
A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
As I take a look at the clock, I realize that this drive has eaten up a good portion of the 4th quarter already. Got to tell you, partner, when you're trying to salt away a game, this is exactly what it's supposed to look like.
Running left is Walker.
And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down. 4th quarter, you've got the lead. You have to stay in bounds and run that clock. Coaches, that'll drive them crazy.
Sacrifice a yard or 2 if you have to. Just go down, in bounds, keep that clock going. It's almost like he was caring more about his fantasy stats than it was about winning the game, and that has to drive a coach crazy.
And a little bit of space there takes it inside the 5 to the 3. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here, stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meet.
And he is into the end zone for a touchdown.
Ken Walker with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Desperados are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this 4th quarter lead.
Now Myers for the extra point. He knocks it through. It's 28-7.
Makes the score Desperados 28, round 7. Jason Myers set to kick off.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
On the return from his end zone is Grant. And not a good return here at all as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Cleveland offense ready to go.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Watson, off play action. In trouble, and he's taken down. Draymond Jones collapses the pocket and drops him for a loss of 3.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's going to pick up the Browns' first down. And it is a big letdown there defensively. They somehow allowed to convert on 4th and long. To throw is Watson. Flush to his right. And that is taken in by Njoku. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he's able to motor his way down to the 16-yard line. 117 yards rushing now for Chubb, and a first down as well.
First down, Cleveland.
Now Watson. He's got Njoku, his big tight end. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it'll be second down.
It's a pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 10-yard line.
Looking to throw. Watson eluding the pressure right. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. Yannick Ngakoue able to record his 5th sack of the season. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That is caught. Touchdown, Browns. Amari Cooper with career touchdown number 60. And the Browns have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively there, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. And he takes it all the way, but there is a flag down, so hold the celebration. This one's coming back. The extra point now coming from Myers. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead.
Desperados 35, Browns 15. Jason Myers.
So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. On the return from his end zone is Grant. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18.
Over first and 10 at their own 18-yard line.
One last throw here for Watson. And he will find his man Schwartz. That's complete.
And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35.